Oh, okay. Well done, keep it up. Yeah, well done. Inside. Yes, spectacular. That was good. It looks like your guys want to compete with that's what I That's what I
Morning, sir. You are welcome, sir.
Your guys are very smart.
Thank you, sir. Welcome back, sir.
That was good. Remember. Well done, guys. You keep it up. Next time I want to see the cup move from back out to here. Yes, sir. Well done. Okay, all right, well done. Thank you. You are with me. Okay. Now, move. How are you? Well done. Keep it up. Liva, 37. All right, well done. Keep it up. And then Sandy. Well done. Baji, from where? Man? Left. Other credit unions here present, the general members of the Gambia Armed Forces Credit Union, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good afternoon. Before I get into my speech, I think it is proper to thank and recognize some few people. Among them is Staff Sergeant Jobate. Please stand up. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jobate has earned our respect. This is what we call empowering yourself. We are proud to realize that, the 100 and how many millions you say? 195 millions, he are in his pocket. And he stood here boldly telling us that he is respecting the rules. I think that is the way forward. Thank you, Jabate. I also want to thank the new management. The reason why people put their money into financial institutions is trust and confidence. And trust and confidence is important. It's the foundation of any relationship among human beings. If we cannot trust one another, we cannot have peace. If I don't trust you, I'll not put my penny in your pocket. So we must earn trust. And that should be based on character and integrity, which is the foundation of everything we do in life. I always preach that in life, character is more important than even qualification. We have people with PhDs, but because of their weak character, they became liabilities. So let's endeavor to build our character, and let's endeavor to make sure that we are trustworthy. There are key words that I want us to start with. Responsibility. Most of the time people look for responsibility. But to me, responsibility means two words. Responsibility. If you don't have the ability to respond, then nobody should give you responsibility. And your ability to respond would be based on your character, your values. So thank you, the new board. Thank you, the chairman of the board as well. The reason why we voted for no other person than the army commander is also to signal and to give evidence that command, the high command, want to make sure that henceforth transparency, accountability, and due care and diligence in the management of public affairs is the way forward. We cannot continue in the path of trying to fool ourselves. We cannot steal from ourselves. As an organization, if you are in it, you owe a duty of care to other members. And that duty of care means that whatever responsibility is trusted into your hands, you should react and care for it as you will care for your own life, not even your properties. I know nobody wants to lose your life. So other people's affairs should also be safeguarded as you safeguard your life. We also want to thank the CEO of the Gambia the National Credit Union, Mr. Sanya. Earlier on, when I was younger, when I finished school, I had the privilege to work for the then Gambia Cooperative Union. And it was at that time that I started to read about the history of credit union. And like he said, it's nothing other than people with a common trade or a common activity coming together to pool their resources together and save together so that they can loan to one another. This was necessitated by the history of capitalism in the Western world. When they started the Industrial Revolution, most of the factories that were producing the goods and services that the ordinary people needed were up to maximize their profit. In fact, up to now, that is the whole idea of what is called this private, what we call private business, which is what we adopt now in our system. The government, they said, should just concentrate on security and making sure that they are the regulatory authority. But business should be left in private hands, so that if you have the initiative, you have the capital, you can invest and then produce the things that people will buy, and then your only motivation is how to maximize your profit. In fact, that is the model of the Adam Smith economic model. Adam Smith was the one who is the father of modern economy. And what he taught people was that, the baker is motivated not because he wanted to serve the public good, but because of the profit he expects to get. And that is why, when you are asleep, the bakers will open their bakeries and make the bread. So by the time you wake up 6 o'clock, a hot loaf of bread is at your doorstep. He's doing that not because he likes you, but because he wants to fill his pocket. So as a counter to that economic model, people who are of lesser means came together and then saved together so that now they can remove that exploitative aspect of the business model, and whatever accrues as surplus, they don't call it profit, whatever accrues as surplus comes back to the members. And because of that, we will also want to encourage you to be members of the Gambia Armed Forces Credit Union. A few days ago, I came here, and then amongst you, one of them complained that they are having problems with receiving their salaries. He says, if I may remember his own words, that at the end of each month, they go to the banks, and then the banks will tell them the salaries are not yet credited to your account. And then he will go back, come another day, it's the same thing. And then his question was, there are people whose family depends on their salary. And if they cannot receive their salaries, it will cause a lot of harm to their families. I agree. But now, the Wallofs also say, if there is a drumming at your doorsteps, do you need to go to Soma to follow the rhythm? No. So therefore, I would also want to encourage and plead with you to put your salaries, like the manager has said, into our own account, into our own credit union, so that by the time the money is out, they give it to you at your doorstep. You will not suffer the inconvenience of going away from here or wherever you are posted, or paying extra money to access your money. Your money will come to yourself. And now we are told they are also rolling out this wallet scheme, which is, the apex of financial convenience and transaction. Yes, in your mobile, everything you can do, from accessing your savings to transacting a loan request, and even paying your bills, transferring money to anybody across the world. What better and what more easier financial service can you get? And it's also secure. Based on the statistics given here, what Jobade has said, I followed it keenly. The liquidity ratio is good. The schemes, oversight schemes from the central bank is also very good. So credit unions are the way forward. And as the manager requested, I want us to build our credit union so that it becomes whatever we want to aspire for, our Armed Forces Bank in the future. On that note, it is a distinguished honor and privilege for me to be here with you this morning as the Chief of Defense Staff, or as your guest of honor, and also equally in my capacity as the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, and also as a member of the Gambia Armed Forces Credit Union. Okay, let me try and use my infantry voice. I hope I can meet Jobate's infantry voice. Are you hearing me? All right, so we'll use the infantry voice. I wish to thank the board and management for extending this kind invitation for me to be part of this assembly today. Their continuous commitment to the financial empowerment of our men and women in uniform is indeed enviable. This forum is always an opportunity to reflect on our achievements and the direction we are charting into the future. As a member, I stand here not just to speak, but to listen, and as your CDS, to affirm the unshakable support of the Gambia Armed Forces High Command towards strengthening the great union of the Gambia Armed Forces Credit Union. Distinguished members, I wish to begin by recalling the humble beginning of this institution. What began in 2008 as a courageous initiative to rescue soldiers from the burdens of commercial banks' indebtedness has today evolved into a well-established financial institution. Through the unwavering spirit of unity, discipline, and perseverance, we have built a credit union that now boasts of growth in every measurable dimension. This year's chairman's report, we have registered an impressive financial growth and membership over the last 3 years, registering 21% in membership and about 14% increase in our assets. That is enviable. This is not just a statistic, but a proof of trust, of management prudence, and membership loyalty. The choice of this year's theme, ensuring compliance, driving transformation and innovation for a secure financial future, is timely and forward-looking. Compliance in the financial sector is not a luxury, it is a necessity. I am pleased to note that the credit union had not only embraced regulatory oversight, but has implemented the NACU compliance framework in line with the guidelines from the Registrar of Cooperative Union and the Central Bank. This effort ensures members' savings are protected from risk and are mitigated, and the union stands as a solid ethical, on solid ethical ground. On the front of transformation, we have made visible strides from improved internal controls to expanded member services, including payment of salaries and ongoing staff development. GAF Credit Union is clearly positioning itself as a model for other cooperative credit unions in the country. In the spirit of innovation, we celebrate the rollout of the mobile wallet, which is a major digital leap. Soldiers on deployment or members in the remotest parts of the country can now access basic financial services from their phones. This is not just convenience, it is financial inclusion at its best. Distinguished members, the future belongs to those who dare to dream and plan. I am encouraged by the long-term vision of upgrading Gambia Armed Forces Credit Union into a fully fledged Armed Forces Bank. What we want to say, this is just the beginning. The Gambia Armed Forces must emulate what other armed forces are doing. And the credit union is just a stepping stone. The vision for the future is to own or develop our own armed forces bank. We have a lot of capital projects, including building accommodations, acquiring the necessary equipment and wherewithals that we need to modernize our armed forces. And the only way we can do that is also to build the financial platforms that will avail us those financial resources which we can use to not only improve on our infrastructure needs, but also to invest in economic activities that will also lift the economy to higher heights. And one beginning, though a very humble one, is our agricultural endeavor. The Gambia Armed Forces, through the Directorate of the Agri Task Force, is now into some rice value chain cultivation. Very soon, you will be able to buy the rice that you are growing from our fields in Sapo. And those ones, be assured, will be far cheaper and of a better quality than any rice that you are now eating. Such a move, while ambitious, is consistent with the growth trajectory we have seen. Let me be clear. The Gambia Armed Forces Command is ready to walk this path alongside you, providing the institutional backing and support required to bring this vision to life. But as we plan for this evolution, let us remember that compliance must remain firm, innovation must be bold, and our transformation must always be member-centered. One of the hallmarks of GAF Credit Union is that it touches the lives beyond lending and saving. The recent allocation of affordable plots of land in Sifo is a case in point. What would be more empowering than enabling a soldier or a junior rating to own a piece of land? This is all possible due to the continuous transformation of the credit union. I encourage the board and management to negotiate on acquiring more land in other regions so that this benefit can be extended to more members. It is no exaggeration. We've said it in various platforms during our tour. The Sanyang properties, though it represented at the beginning a serious dent on our liquidity, and I'm so, because when you invest in land, you know, the returns are not always quick. They take a long time. But as we have said, the aim of the credit union is to build the financial capacity and resilience of the members. And one of the biggest challenges that officers and men face is how to transition from being in the military barracks to to having their own properties. And the civil experiment is one which we are very proud of. A plot of land measuring almost 20 by 25, in a prime real estate area, where on the next door, a far smaller piece of land will go for $1 million and $1 million plus. We are giving it to our members for $100,000. Where else can you get that? I therefore call on every soldier, rating officer, and support staff to not only be a member, but also to be an ambassador of the Gambia Armed Forces Credit Union. Encourage your colleagues, family members, and civilians within your circles to join the GAF Credit Union. Let us also take an active interest in the affairs of the Union. Parliament, your accountability forum. Ask questions, offer suggestions, and participate fully. I think we will pause here again. The annual general meeting is a forum where the ordinary members can interface with the management. In financial institutions, there is always this conflict of interest between the agent and the real owners of the institutions. If you go to private companies, it's there. The management and the shareholders are always separate because of the structure of this financial institution. It's also the same here. So you members must use this forum to really scrutinize the report you have presented so that you will be clear. The manager mentioned here issues of confidence. Confidence is important in any human dealings, much more finance. There is this Russian saying that trust but verify. If somebody comes to tell you anything or show you anything, yes, take it in good faith. Yeah, I trust you, but let's verify, let's check. So this is your forum now to verify what is being presented here, in a very disciplined and convenient manner, so that we will hold them accountable. Not only that, we should also offer suggestions. Most of the time, people will come and say, you didn't do this thing correct. But if you have a better suggestion, put it on the table. I think this is not this, we can do it better this way. And then we look at it together. If your idea is better, I'm sure it will be taken. But just mere criticisms or, just trying to, be hard without offering anything concrete on the table is also a waste of time. And I encourage us during the interactive session to avoid those things. Whatever you need, whatever clarifications could be done, in a disciplined and structured manner, and I'm sure the answers will be out there. It is your day. It is your right as members to be informed. Allow me to commend the board of directors for steering the union with courage and competence. Leadership in the financial institutions demands foresight, transparency, and accountability, which you have upheld diligently. To the general manager and his staff, your work has gone unnoticed. You are the backbone of the credit union, and we thank you for this forum. In conclusion, as your CDS and as a fellow member, I assure you of my continued support and the entire support of the Gambia Armed Forces High Command. We are with you, as we always have been, in your journey to ensure financial dignity and security for our men and women. Let us continue to work together compliantly, innovatively, and with transformational intent to build a credit union that is not only bigger, but better. Thank you for your kind attention.